Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Well, all right. Welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast, Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk about communications. I guess if you're trying to fight the man or you're trying to do anything, the only way is with secure communications. You know, they always say communications are the keys to success. Being able to communicate with your forces, your whatever, are really vital in whether you're successful or not. And the big thing that governments throughout time, when they're fighting wars, is trying to, have secure communications. You think back to like the Navajo code talkers with World War II, and the different things, the Enigma machine, with the Germans, and how vital a role these things played in the history of warfare. And it really makes a difference. And I mean, honestly, you could even go back to George Washington and that guy who spied on him. Who is it, Kevin, who eludes me?
I can't think of his name right now, but he was real big on invisible ink. And
George Washington was, yes.
Yeah, and codes and things like that. He had a massive spy network during the War for Independence.
And yeah, exactly. No, so, traitors, all that stuff will, infiltrate and whatever. So finding a way to communicate securely is definitely going to be a huge resource. And sometimes by being the small, unorganized, kind of not established group, I don't mean unorganized, but that might actually play to your advantage because you're able to keep your information tight and close knit. And, it pays out. But basically everything we do is being monitored in some way or another, and we all know that. And we've discussed, PRISM and the different things in the NSA and what their job is and their role in our country. And so, Kevin, who's listening?
Well, let's start with a rundown. Now, after the Snowden information releases, some things were changed legally. So now the NSA can't just keep track of every single phone call and every single text message.
Unless you're the president.
Right. Well,
yeah, see?
Well, all right. But they can still access your records. 2017, the NSA collected 534 million calls and text messages. They haven't released what they did in 2018 or 2019. But I mean, think about how many people are there's 330 million people in the United States. So they're not collecting everything, but they're collecting a huge amount. Google, Facebook, Apple, and 5 or 6 other companies are legally required to give data to the NSA. That means that the NSA isn't collecting the information. But Facebook, Google, Apple, all of them are, and they can. The NSA can access that information with a warrant, which apparently they just give out warrants left and right now. FISA courts are just giving them warrants for everything.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
All security devices are exploitable thanks to the NSA. That's because they coerced manufacturers into building vulnerabilities. That means that your information can be accessed by almost anybody that knows how to do it, illegally or legally, and nobody knows the difference.
Right, and
the
of
NSA,
course,
go ahead.
I was going to say, whenever the government can't get the information legally, they're like, oh, well, we'll just take it illegally because we know how to do that because this is our business.
Right.
And then they utilize that information to get other information that they can use in court.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a shady system. I'm sure they might argue with you that doesn't really happen. But
yeah, no, well, I mean, it's clearly happening, though. Everything I've read is basically saying that the government is hacking into everybody's devices illegally and accessing information that way. The NSA can track your phone. Now, basically, they can track you where you're at all the time by what do they call it? Tower triangulation.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that, and it's constantly updating GPS. I don't even think they really need that. I think it's always saying, hey, I'm right here.
Right. Now, the NSA doesn't actually track your phone.
What?
Your cell phone company does, though.
Well, they're looking out for you.
Right, and they're required by law to give it to the NSA. So, yes, the NSA isn't collecting it illegally. The companies are collecting it legally and legally have to give it to the NSA. So that's how they get her. That's their workaround there. The NSA tracks everything you own and buy. By monitoring and hacking credit card networks, payment gateways, and wire transfer facilities. So, I just more recently have started using cash more and more,
What? You finally come over to my team?
And carry it in my pocket. Yeah, finally stopped using my card for everything. Chuck's been up on that a lot longer than I have, I think.
Yeah. And people are always like, you're crazy. Why do you use cash?
Mm-hmm. That's right. How many firearms do you own? How many boxes of ammunition do you have?
Well, it turns out they know. Well, they know because the government fills out forms, but requires forms when you buy firearms, but not with ammo if you're buying it in person. Mm-hmm. Although I have ordered small quantities of ammo off the internet, but very small, actually.
Yeah. All right.
I think my total, well, that could be because New York never let me do it before. And now that I'm in my new state, I've only just had this door opened up to me. Mm-hmm. But with that, I think we're under 500 rounds.
All right. So you just got a small little
a small arsenal.
All right. Yeah, I saw somebody was arrested and they had an arsenal and a massive stockpile of ammunition, which is they said was over 1,000 rounds. I was like, really? Okay. That's massive. I guess. Yeah. Sounds like a crazy person, huh?
Crazy person. How could you ever shoot through 1,000 rounds?
That's impossible. Only a crazy person would need.
I mean, could you even count to 1,000? I mean, come on.
Really? Seriously?
That's just crazy. All right. So they're listening is the bottom line.
The bottom line is they're paying attention to what you're doing and what you have been doing, and they can access what you have been doing all the way back. I think it's in the United States right now, it's just a year.
Oh.
So a year back. Now
they're only keeping it for a year, or they always started all right.
They're saying that they're only keeping it for a year.
Okay. I like that. I assume if you're like the terrorist and you're going to do something, you're probably the last year is going to have at least the most relevant information, prior to you committing an evil act, right?
And obviously, if they're tracking you, then they are storing that information from when they start tracking you all the way through. So it's not just a year. Once they start,
I'm not off the hook.
Once they start watching you, they can keep that information forever.
I do understand that maybe the FBI could actually have teams of people who are sifting through.
Mm-hmm.
How many FBI agents could there really be out there if we all have our own team? You know,
I don't know. Every time I look up like the amount of people that work for the NSA or the CIA or the FBI, it's like shocking. It's
I
shocking
thought
that
I
they have
thought
that
your
many.
computer just dropped out and everything went blank and you got to knock at the door from the pizza man that you didn't order,
Right, right.
something like that.
All right. So how do we communicate securely between one another? When we're trying not to be watched. There's a couple of different ways to do it. There's a couple of apps that you can download on your phone that encrypt all your information. So the first one I got here is Signal. It's an app you can download. It's supposedly the gold standard for encrypting messages. Its encryption is open source, so like all the nerds out there can just like go through it and like search out flaws that are always just fixed immediately. They just keep people keep trying to get through it, and anytime they succeed, that loophole is closed up.
Nice.
So that one's pretty good. The only problem with that one is everything I read, like it's questionable if it's on an Apple device, whether it's truly secure.
Okay.
So don't use Signal on your Apple phone.
Or don't use an Apple phone.
Yeah. Skype used to be private, but the U.S. government has fixed that problem. So Skype is no longer secure.
Well, they're keeping us safe.
That's right. Dust, formerly called CyberDust, is end-to-end encryption. And this is interesting because it doesn't store any of your messages. And you can set it up so that every conversation you have is immediately erased after you're done.
Now that sounds interesting.
Your phone, there's no record in there of
now this is audio like Skype or
that's a messaging. You can send files, you can send like text message type things.
Okay.
The one I use is all the ones I've named so far are free, so you can just download this. Go to the App Store, download these for free. The one I use is the WhatsApp, and that's free. That's end-to-end encryption, and that is used the Signal encryption that we were talking about a few minutes ago. Now you can use that to talk on the phone conversations. You can use it for text messaging. You can send files. It's pretty good. And that one of the co-founders was Jan Koma, and he grew up in communist Ukraine, where subversive conversation was against the law. So he kind of saw encryption and private communication as being incredibly important for democracy. Now, your search history stuff, that's just there. That's, if you go back through a year of your search history, that search history knows more about you than even some of your family members. One of the guys that I was listening to was giving a TED talk about search histories. And he said that if he went into your search history, he can find something that's either illegal that you did or embarrassing at least. So
sounds accurate.
In 5 minutes to anybody, he could find something like that. So that's really something to think about when you're typing all the shit in your computer like I am constantly doing. I'd probably they could get me on something, Yeah,
but I thought in America we have free access to information. No, that's not a thing.
Yeah, no, it's not really a thing. Now there's some other stuff that's the encryption has been slowly increasing the quality of it as it gets broken down and fixed. Now, originally DES was the data encryption standard that was developed by IBM. That's now crackable with modern computers. So they stepped it up to advanced encryption standard. That's AES. Now that's what the federal government is using for their information, is advanced encryption standard. Now you can get this through through browsers and different things like that. Tor is one of the forms of the AES. So I mean, there's ways to get around being watched if you're careful, and there's cheap ways to do it. You know, all those apps that I mentioned, the WhatsApp, Signal, and Dust, those are all free. You can just get those, download those, and message through them. But the person that you're messaging has to also have that app.
Right. And that's like I use a secure email account that comes from another country. But if the other guy on the other end doesn't have that same secure thing, and I've yet to meet a single other person who has it, so it doesn't really do much, you know?
Right.
You know, you have to be paying attention both ends. However, that said, I think it's kind of clear that really whatever you do on your phone, you shouldn't trust it as being secure. It's probably not. A lot of us do go with the mindset of, well, there's a billion people, and if they're, you know, looking at a billion people, then why is mine going to stand out? Well, the question is, what are you searching? Is yours going to stand out?
Right.
Because computers are smarter than you think, but the bottom line, they have to, you know, be triggered by something. But there's so many different key phrases and things you could say that might put you onto that list, you know, and where they listen to the phone call. And then if somebody does listen to the phone call or read the text messages, they're going to be like, oh, you know what? He's just talking about his great podcast and how he loves those prepping badass guys. We do too. So obviously this guy is sane, and
right.
He'll let you go. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's my guess of how it plays out.
Right. Right. Yeah. The FBI loves me. I'm sure.
Yeah, see? And they're, oh, you know, Kevin. Sure. We like his dog. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I just got the body armor in, the dog body armor.
Excellent. Excellent. And the stuffed Tannerite dog for the corner.
Stuffed Tannerite dog, yeah, in the back, and then in the living room.
And that's disturbing. The other thing, the Tor browser is something kind of neat. Now, the Tor browser was actually created by the U.S. Navy, which is kind of an interesting fact since it's so evil, right?
Right.
And in theory, every time you use the Tor browser, you're helping the government. Now you're saying, well, Chuck, that's
more secure, right?
You're making a twisted argument that doesn't make any sense. But what's actually happening is it was created so that the government could have undercover agents who could stealthily go and do things and be unique individuals who, who don't have a trace behind them. Mm-hmm. And the more people who use the Tor browser, the more you make it secure, believe it or not. The more that you, basically make it a bigger network where it makes it more impossible to pinpoint any one thing. You know, if only 5 people were using it, they'd be able to tell. But what's happening is you're actually allowing government officials to utilize more secure stuff on their end. However, if we all live in this anonymous world, then that sounds like freedom. So I say go for it. Mm-hmm. The Tor browser is something that you could just type into you can download and get a browser for your computer that, it's something you can search probably in Google or whatever, and Google will keep that information just in case anybody's looking, and you get the idea.
Right. Right. Now, so if we want to help our government, we want to download the Tor browser and only search through the Tor browser.
I mean, if you're looking out for the home team.
Right. Right. All right. I'm pro-America. I'm willing to encrypt all my information.
These kids today. And by the way, if you didn't catch it, the Tor browser is the evil dark web.
Right. Pirate Bay.
My understanding, and I guess they want us to believe this, I don't know what's really true, but they want us to believe that basically like every other person they're offering to kill your wife or, sell you heroin or, get you small children or something.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to believe that like every third person is an FBI agent. And honestly, it could be. I don't really know.
Yeah, I would recommend not hiring somebody online to kill your wife. I mean, that's probably not the way to go.
No, okay.
Now, we are all used to using phones and the internet and different things like that, email, text messages to communicate with people. And even if you have your stuff encrypted, that's a step up. But it's still, you don't know how encrypted it is because you're always finding out the government has cracked this or that and hasn't said anything for the past 5 years. And turns out that they had this information the whole time. The whole time.
Well, that they figure out how to, the encryption is weak. But how often does the government demand that a company or a device turn over all their, information? So you're always kind of exposed.
Yeah, 534 million times apparently.
There you go.
In 1 year. So all right. So we've got a message that we've got to send to somebody. We are scared that it's going to be seen. We got to figure this out. So what's some other options that we got?
Carrier pigeon.
Carrier pigeon. There you go. My idea, or the best, most secure way to do this really would be to memorize the message, write down a different message, and run all the way there. So just run your ass to the next state over, and tell the person the message.
Excellent.
That's how Hannibal managed to during the Punic Wars in Rome. That's how he managed to communicate. And the only way he ended up losing in the end was because he sent two runners that were both captured and they had both written down the actual message. And that's how they were able to track him down to where exactly he was going to be and where he was and get his ass encircled.
In my research, I did read of a king who tattooed the message on his slave's head.
Nice.
And sent the slave. That might be another option.
There you go. Tattoo that shit.
No, I don't know. Do you tattoo it and then let the hair grow back so they can't see it? Then when he gets there,
you shave your head.
I don't know. It seems like the timeline there. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. And if you tattoo it on the back of the slave's head, he doesn't know.
Exactly. He's like, I don't know what's up there. It could be anything. So that's another option you may want to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing you could look at. Now, a lot of times it actually ends up being the very simple things. Right. Like, say, you come up with a plan where you're like, all right, we're going to, we know the government's gonna, I don't know. We know that Iran is going to attack on a certain day, and we're just waiting for confirmation on a time. And what if if they were going to attack at 2:00, somebody comes out with a green shirt, and if it was going to be 4:00, it'd be a red shirt and whatever, something, some subtle signal like that. I'll be wearing a hat or, something like that, where you just, there's the guy. That way nothing's written down. It's all predetermined, and nobody even realizes when the message is delivered. That used to be a pretty decent technique that people go for. Another thing you want to look at is dead drops. Dead drops, they'd say, oh, well, you'll go drop it by the garbage can. We always see these TV shows where that's how they catch them, Whenever you kidnap somebody, they got to drop the bag of money on the trash can in the park, that seems to be the MO.
Right,
but,
for those movies.
You could also do, the secret codes, but like I was saying, a green shirt, wearing jewelry, doing, something unique. they used to talk about the ciphers based on books. Now, my concern with that is if something is transmitted like over the phone call, or you send it through Morse code, or who knows what you do over ham radio or whatever, you could say, well, based on this printing of the book, we both have the same book, and page 227, the first letter, and that kind of thing. And, like you always take the second sentence, the first letter out of the paragraph, or the third word, or whatever, and you go through it. But believe it or not, computers are smart enough to put this stuff together now.
Right. And they can map out sentences
right
that are encrypted in these
and
things.
Figure out what books and whatever you're doing, because everything's kind of stored in this data. Now, I would say if you're passing this information along by word of mouth or on something that has to be typed in, unless they're outright looking for it, it's probably not going to get picked up. And that's the big thing. I mean, face-to-face meetings with people are really going to be your go-to. I hate to say it, runners and stuff, and everybody's kind of limited by that same thing. I mean, obviously, if the federal government was going after a small militia, they have the uphand because, the small militia isn't typically going to be able to break government encryption. You're kind of at a loss.
Right.
However, you have heard the expression loose lips sink ships. Well, if they don't keep their information tight to the chest there and in the upper levels, then there's a good chance that somebody knows where they're going to go and whatever, and that information gets out. So
one of the reasons Germany lost the war is because they got drunk with hookers too often.
Who hasn't seen that play out, though, really?
I mean, that's really a big part of it, man, is that these hookers would hook up with these Nazis and get them all shitty and start talking. And, I mean, information gets passed that way very easily.
Right.
When you trying to hide something, be wary of scandalous women. That's all I'm saying.
Who hasn't, over and over again. I will say, when I was in Israel, when I was a young sailor, there was a bar, and it turns out the Russian bar in Israel, because obviously, and you go and it's some old timer who says he was in the Russian Navy and he was on a submarine or something, and this guy will chat up sea stories all day long with all the sailors and everybody that comes into port, and I can't help but wonder if he's not collecting information.
Right.
But I do know that people were sharing information. And that's the kind of thing, you get around somebody who's friendly, possibly a pretty woman. Maybe it's a handsome dude. I don't know, whichever way you swing, whatever. But
whatever your thing is.
Whatever your thing, right? But the bottom line, you got to be careful what you say and how secure, things are. You got to be paying attention. And obviously putting all your information and all your guns and everything else on Facebook. Facebook's now keeping a record of everybody's serial number for some reason. They don't want you whenever you post a photo of a gun, they're indexing all the serial numbers that go up on there. Is the latest thing that I've heard. I don't know how true that is, but also actually they're getting to the point where they don't even want to see a gun on there because, they are horribly offensive and make people cry.
Right. It's terrifying.
So, whatever. Bottom line is you need to start thinking in advance of how you're going to, because setting up ways to communicate before people are watching is the key. If everybody, like I said, if you were doing like a book cipher, if you got everybody their book and whatever, and you didn't order 10 copies through your Amazon account that the government's going to get a list of, that kind of thing. Maybe that's the time to use cash. Kevin will be like, oh, look, Kevin's the FBI agent, and he comes and he's like, wait, this guy bought 16 copies of The Catcher in the Rye.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's
Right
going on here,
Yep.
And so you got to watch out for that kind of thing. Now, you saw that subtle tip to the catcher in the rye. I don't know. Maybe if people read history, they understand that. I don't really know. But anyway, my subtle hints. You like that?
Buy Catcher in the Rye from a bookstore. They actually have, bookstores actually still exist, believe it or not.
What?
You can actually buy books from the bookstore. You don't have to order them on Amazon.
Well, I've seen one that's like beer and books,
Mm-hmm.
or or it's a coffee shop and they have the novelty of having 100 books on the shelf
Right.
that you can purchase while you're there. I don't know. Not really sure how that works.
Bookstore that's in a basement underneath a bar and chocolate shop. Two separate places. It's not a chocolate shop that sells beer.
Right. That would be ridiculous.
Right.
Right. Oh, you thought it would be good. Okay.
But I mean, it's kind of it feels like I'm being private because I'm going down through this this basement door into this bookshop, and I'm sure the guy working there is working for the CIA. He knows what's up.
Right. And when you put it in, is it a solid bag? Like, oh, how about the brown paper bags where you slip it in and nobody can see through?
I live in New York, and unfortunately, they have banned all plastic bags now. Now, when I go to the grocery store, I have to carry all my canned food out in my arms like some sort of caveman.
That was actually what pushed me over the edge to move. It wasn't the guns and the everything else. I was like, really?
No longer has bags there. You
don't have bags. Come on.
Kills the sea turtles, dude.
Damn the sea turtles. I don't know.
What has a sea turtle ever done for you? Honestly.
Exactly.
Fuck them.
And if I live on the beach, I have to keep the lights out half the year or something.
I have to ask for a straw when I go to McDonald's in New York. That's how ridiculous it's getting here. They won't give you one. You have to ask them.
Oh, see, we have them here, but there's a sign that says, please make the right choice and don't use a straw. But the straws are still there. Like there's just a little sign.
Right. What am I supposed to drink?
The upside, the upside that was totally different than New York is all the beverages here come in styrofoam.
Mm-hmm.
And that always freaks me out. I'm like, styrofoam still exists? What is this?
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere. Now, actually, in defense, McDonald's doesn't have the styrofoam. But every other business I go to, they're all styrofoam cups. And I'm like, these people are genius down here. But who knows?
Yeah, good stuff, man. Well, yeah, I mean, there's the giant Pacific garbage patch, which, whatever, dude. I feel like we should just rope that whole thing in and make it a floating island. I'm into it. Start growing some vegetables.
Recyclable.
Mm-hmm.
The island has become a symbol of recycling. if we turn it into something.
Right.
Yeah. So bottom line, think of a way now, start coming up with plans and how to communicate and kind of work something into your group or whatever. Just find ways to prepare yourself.
And, now would be a good time. It's not crazy to just go on your phone and download some of these one of these secure messaging apps just to have it on there and you got it. And, you can have whoever else download the same app. I'm going to get Chuck to download the WhatsApp, and then we can talk back and forth privately about about things, our secret stuff.
And we'll be like, what we do is secret.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to text him, hey, dude, I need you to ship up some straws and some plastic bags.
Smuggling straws.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a sad day for America.
What are you going to do there?
And what?
They banned 24-ounce sugary drinks. So, I mean, I can get 2 12-ounces. That's fine, but I can't get a 24-ouncer anymore.
Well, they're looking out for you. They don't want you to turn into a fatty boom balatti,
That's right.
Nope, not bad. So, bottom line, be on the lookout. Come up with a plan. Start to, integrate these things. All these tools. When you think about it beforehand, that's preparing. That's the whole prepper idea, is to do it when it's accessible when it's easy and whatever. And just, you never know. You may have to smuggle straws back and forth, into the state. And, you got to keep your options open. Do you really want to have to put your lips on a glass that anybody could have drank of beforehand?
Mm-hmm. That's right. I could have been tonguing that glass right before you showed up.
You showed up. And have you seen them wash dishes in a restaurant? You got to realize it's disgusting. So I'm just putting that out there. Straws may be a real thing in your future. And by preparing that, or you may want to just stockpile straws.
That's right.
That could be the other way.
I was disgusted the other day. Somebody gave me a cup with a paper straw in it. And, it's at first I was like, all right, this is a little bit weird, whatever. And then about 5 minutes later, the bottom of the paper straw had just turned into like mush, and I couldn't suck anything out of it anymore.
And you just suck really hard.
Down the glass like like some sort of,
like a peasant.
Gross.
Yeah, it's gross. So, I'm sure all you Californians out there know what we're talking about. So that's that. As far as the world, Kevin, or should we be scared? What's going on out there?
Not too worried. It looks like we almost had a war with Iran last week, but it looks like they just started killing themselves, and I think we're done. They trampled 40 people at the funeral, so they knocked them out, and then
they're shooting down their own planes, flying over their own country.
It was kind of fucked up because there are a lot of people that weren't Iranian or American on that plane. They're Ukrainians and Canadians, and unfortunately, a lot of the people were like, they had gone to school, then gone through college and gotten the PhD and did all this shit, and then all that fucking work, and then they fucking got killed before they
got to implement it.
Use any of that information and get into anything. So let that be a lesson to anybody. Don't go to college; it's a waste of time.
Excellent choice. My understanding, if you Israel won't accept anybody who's been to several countries, and one of them is Iran. If your passport is stamped from Iran, they won't let you into Israel unless certain circumstances, whatever. I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule. Had you just followed Israel's advice, you could have just saved this whole thing. But actually, I don't even know, did this plane touch down in Iran, or was it just flying over Iran? I know it was filled with...
It took off out of the Tehran airport.
Okay.
So it was leaving Iran. They're trying to get out.
Who hasn't seen that play out?
And I think it was going to the Ukraine and then
Canada or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. Did you know that Canada has the largest population of Iranian people outside of Iran?
I did not know that. New to me. That's disturbing.
But yeah, apparently we don't have to have a war. We can just threaten it, and then they'll kill themselves. So, good on you.
All right. So moving right along. I guess that's what we have for today. I don't know. So work on your preps is what I can tell you. Also, some new signups for Patreon. I don't know if you guys have heard us mention. We haven't brought it up in a while, but patreon.com, if you're enjoying this podcast, want to help out. It does cost a little bit to keep it going, $20-$30 a month, something. Plus, me and Kevin give up our valuable time. I could be out trying to pry open my truck door with a crowbar. There's other things we could be doing.
Right.
There's issues. We won't.
We're recording this at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I've had to stay sober all morning until now. So, this is like, we really do suffer a little bit.
But whiskey is right around the corner. I'm just starting out with coffee, and yeah.
I started out with coffee, and then I put whiskey in the coffee, and now I'm going all right here.
Right. So patreon.com/preppingbadass. You can give as little as $1 a month. Something to do, throws us a little something to keep it going. We're not exactly getting rich off that. We don't really hit you up with ads. I have heard that TacPack has some excellent selections coming up in the next month. If you do want to check that out, and if you use the code BADASS, they're going to hook you up with some extra cool gear. So that does pay off. I did hear that the February pack is going to have $200 items coming out of American-made items coming out of like Texas or something. So that may be something you want to get in on. If it's too late and you already missed it, I don't know what to tell you because I kind of read that like 2 weeks ago and maybe, but either way, it's something you might want to look into so you don't miss it next time. Also, reviews help us out. If wherever you're downloading this, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, wherever, if you left a review and talk about, if you enjoy this, you don't, whatever, you like Kevin's hair, whatever it is, we appreciate it because it helps keeps things moving forward. Kevin's hoping to be a celebrity one day. So
That's right. If I can be a celebrity without ever divulging my entire name or my likeness or anything about me, that'd be fantastic. Nobody knows what I look like or anything like that. Perfect.
If somebody
don't ever come up in a restaurant and ask for an autograph.
No, you don't do that.
No, not into it.
Right.
You do want to get a hold of us. And you can email us at preppingbadass@gmail.com. If you want, I will send you an autograph picture. And then
of who?
Just get that out of the way.
Of who?
Of me.
Oh, okay.
Likeness.
Did your kid draw it?
No, that's actually never going to happen. I'm never going to send an autograph picture.
If somebody out there wanted to make a meme of maybe like a shadow person and put Kevin, help make him famous, we'll share that around the group a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I'm willing to put the time into it, but if somebody wants to put that together, it could be like, who was it? You always see the blank. I don't know. I think I'm kind of going way back a million years to that skateboard movie, Search for Animal Chin. And
yes, I remember that. Yeah, that was Lance Mountain and
the Bones Brigade, right?
Back in the day, the skaters back in the day.
We're getting old.
Mm-hmm.
So
from Charlie's Angels, he's famous. Nobody knows what he looks like.
The man, maybe Wilson from Home Improvement, whatever you got to do, right? So with that, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
The Survival and Basic Badass podcast is a proud member of the Self-Defense Radio Network.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.